Nate, tell me what your favorite food is, buddy.
Crab legs. It's
crab legs?
I don't know why. Everybody.
Did that really just come out of your mouth?
I'm an expensive kid, okay?
Wow, crab legs.
I love any kind of seafood. If you give seafood to me, I'll eat it. Yeah, I mean, crab legs, shrimp, salmon, fish, fried fish, I'll eat it.
That's awesome.
You are listening to WHOA Podcast, coming to you from Gainesville, Florida. My name is Collin, and welcome to the WHOA GNV Podcast, the podcast bringing you incredible businesses and individuals that make you go, whoa. Let me prep you for the WHOA that we have ready for you today. Our first guest is the first child to be on the podcast. Yay, everybody. And he is a 10-year-old celebrity ambassador. Can I use the word celebrity?
Oh, definitely.
For the Children's Miracle Network hospitals. He kicks back and chills with stars like Jimmy Kimmel, Jack Black, Chris Harrison, Jennifer Lopez, Nick Cannon, and so many more. How many more did I miss?
Oh, 35.
And he lives right here in Gainesville. You might see his face all over Publix. We will explain why in just a little bit. Nate Ferrell, say hello, my friend.
Hello.
How are you doing today, man?
Doing really good.
This is the first child that we've had on our podcast, but I hear that this is your first podcast as well?
Yes, it is.
Are you psyched?
Yes.
Are you pumped?
Yes.
All right, we're going to have a great time. Ty and I are so honored that you're here, and we're excited to have you. So we're going to dive deeper into your story in just a little bit, but let me introduce our next guest. Our second guest is a little older than 10.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. He is a University of Florida, go Gators, athletic Hall of Fame Gator Great, and former running back for the Chicago Bears. Neal Anderson, what is up, man?
Oh, man. Glad to be here. It's an honor.
Dude,
Thank you.
we are psyched to have you. Ty was like, yeah, I think, Neal Anderson said that he could come on the show. And I'm like, awesome. Well, what I want to do is get the smallest human being possible to be right next to him. So we're excited to have you guys. Thanks so much. And that's it. But we're going to dive into y'all stories in just a minute. But Ty, dude, what is happening in the best of Gainesville world, man?
A lot of things. It's summer, so I thought it was going to be a little light on content, but we got a lot of things going on. Just yesterday, we had a plane land on I-75 right in the middle of the prairie, and I saw it probably 20 minutes after it happened. I think I actually saw Mayor Lauren Poe put it up on Facebook, and I was like, all right, I'll get that off and post it, and we get 80 comments next, and people are cussing at me in DMs and asking me exactly where it is and whatever. But it's just a good showcase for what Best of Gainesville can help with, or maybe you shouldn't be on I-75 at that time and I made your day really bad. But it was fun. So
Tony over here. For everybody who's listening, we got a bunch of people in the room, a bunch of our staff and team. But Tony was driving. Well, you drove to Orlando to drop off a couple of scooters for a dealer that we were exchanging some scooters with, and on your way back, you got stuck behind it, right? So he's like, yeah, I'm just gonna hang out on I-75 for a while because there's a plane on the road.
Yeah, and 441's still flooded over there, so they couldn't, move traffic over there, which was unfortunate.
Yeah. Hey, on the last episode where you were plugging our own drive-in movie,
we never got the date right, but I have the correct date. It's July 14th.
It only took us the entire episode to get the date, 1 hour, and it's right here, and then we got it wrong. So it's going to be on July 14th, which is a Saturday night. We have popcorn and all sorts of great stuff. It's going to be a cool family event. It's all free. We're doing this for our love for Gainesville. We want all the families to come out and all the students to come out. It's a scooter. We call it a scooter drive-in, but you don't have to buy a scooter. If you leave with a scooter, you buy one while you're here. That's great, but not necessary. And it's going to be a really, really fun time. We're watching Thor Ragnarok is what we're watching. So it'll be epic. But anyway, that's your daily news with Ty and Collin.
Perfect.
So I really, really want to get into the show, man, because I am just pumped about these individuals in front of us. And guys, so we always like to start with the origin story. Now, Nate. Like yours is only 10 years long. Are you 10? You're 10?
I'm 10, yes.
10 years old. Okay. Hey, well, the most important question I have for you is, do you know my son Schaefer?
Yeah, doesn't he go to Talbot?
Yeah. All right. I just wanted to make sure. Schaefer told me to tell you hello. So he's waving,
Hello.
Schaefer. He's waving. All right. So I see your face everywhere, and I know the rest of Gainesville does too. So why don't you tell us a little bit about, your story, like what you're doing, and just give us a brief background of Nate.
So basically, my disease is a energy deficiency disease.
Okay, so let's start there really quick, right? So Nate has a disease, and that's what's led to all the stuff that's happened with the Children's Miracle Network, right? You're that ambassador. So because we have everybody's listening on audio, so a lot of people haven't been prepped on your background, so we just want to let them know that first. But go ahead, give it to me.
That basically means my body doesn't have enough energy to produce energy and oxygen through the rest of my body. So if you go back to 9th grade biology, but there's little cells, and in those cells there's mitochondria. The mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell, and that is what doesn't work in my body. And it's not just my mitochondria doesn't work. Since my mitochondria doesn't work, it's a whole domino fall of different things that doesn't work. Because since my mitochondria doesn't work, my lungs don't work. I have to have as if you guys are watching the video, I have something called oxygen. It's actually called oxygen, but it's on my face. There's a tank in I have a backpack right here. There's a tank in my backpack.
I thought that was your rocket booster when you walked in.
You know what? Can we arrange that in the business? We can arrange that in the business, yeah. But so the tank in that backpack, and that tank has air in it, and it pumps air from the tank into the cannula into my lungs. So basically, there's that, and also my stomach doesn't work. So actually half my stomach is paralyzed. So I have to have a stimulator that. What it does is it kind of tells my stomach when to digest, and it really kind of digests for me. And actually it runs on. Well, it doesn't run on the battery. It is a battery itself. So when it dies, we have to go into surgery and change it. And actually a couple weeks ago, we had to go change it because it died.
Wow. How often does that happen? Do you have to change it?
It's about every 2 years.
Okay. So, and because of this disease, you've really become an ambassador for the Children's Miracle Network Hospital, right?
Yes.
So how did that come about, and what's that been like, being this example for other kids?
So in Dance Marathon, you basically actually not Dance Marathon, with CMN, you raise money for you raise money for every single children's hospital around the country, but mostly for Shands around here. But if you go everywhere, every Dance Marathon and every CMN is raising money for their local children's local hospitals. For local children's hospitals, and if you go around here, we're raising money for Shands Children's Hospital, and that's actually what I'm treated.
Okay, awesome. And when you were talking about, you said Dance Marathon, a lot of our listeners might not know what that is, but that's a UF organization that helps raise money, right? And I heard that this and we actually donate a scooter or two to that as well, to help raise money. So New Scooters for Less is very active with Dance Marathon because we love our students over there and what they're doing. But I heard they had a record year.
Yeah, they did.
Do you know what it was? So
every year they try to raise more money, and I don't know how they do this. Every year they raise more money than the last year. The goal this year was $3 million. They raised $3 million.
Yeah, that's awesome.
The coolest thing was, so in the first year of Dance Marathon, they raised I think $20,000, something about that. This year they raised $3 million and $20,000.
Yeah. So what was your cut of that?
What?
I'm just kidding. I just wondering what your cut was. That's great. And I hear that you have 2 older sisters.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, what's that like?
Doing these similar, one of them can be dreadful. The middle one.
We're not going to share this with them. We'll just keep this between you and me, okay? All right, and I have a ton more questions for you, but I want to talk to our man Neal over here as well. And I want, dude, first I want to say thank you for those 197 yards that you racked up against Kentucky in 1982. when I was 6 months old, I just I wasn't sure if I'd get that opportunity. So man, thank you.
You're very welcome. I enjoyed it.
That's just awesome. So man, why don't you just tell us? Can you just tell us a little bit about your story and how you even got to the University of Florida to play football? And man, I mean, what an incredible career that you had. Congratulations, by the way. I mean, I feel honored just to be sitting in the same room.
Well, first of all, I got to say I don't have many people that I really really look up to, but I've got a new one now sitting right beside me.
Yeah, 100%, man.
And to see that energy and the smile and the enthusiasm. I coach a lot of different sports, and right now I coach a volleyball team, and they're 14 years old, and a lot of times they come in with a bad attitude and a bad mood. But you look at this young man beside me, and that's an example of how you should be. So, Mom, you've done a great job.
Yeah, and I want to talk more about that positivity later, because I just think that is what radiates off of Nate so much, and that's what inspires other children, right? And actually other adults. So
exactly.
So we'll get into more of that later for sure.
Well, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I grew up in a little small country town, Gainesville, Florida, up in the Panhandle, a couple hours past Tallahassee, and town that didn't have a lot of things going on. Most people worked at a couple of different mills that were there, and I had big dreams as a kid. I knew, at least in my heart, that I would be a professional athlete. I didn't know what sport. I played baseball, football, basketball, ran track, and those were the only sports that we had. We didn't have golf, we didn't have tennis, wrestling. So I did all those things, and I think when I was probably in 3rd and 4th grade, I was signing yearbooks that, when I'm playing professionally, for them to keep that autograph, because people wouldn't believe that they knew me. So whether the belief was crazy or not, I always had that belief that, I would be able to make it. And for me, it was, it was a dream that finally came to fruition. But those days were good days in Gainesville, and not a lot of people believed in what I thought I could do, and that was just motivation for me. So that was how I got started before I got to University of Florida. And
was it like having that chip on your shoulder? Like just people consistently saying you can't do it, that motivated you to do it?
I was motivated enough already,
yeah.
I think, but just people not believing in you and doubting you, that just gives a little bit more fuel to the fire.
Yeah, that's something that pumps me up. 100%. That's something that just drives me. When people say that, like, oh, you can't do it, they just don't believe in me, man. I just I hold on to that, and that is just my fuel, and I just love to prove people wrong.
Exactly. Exactly.
Awesome. And you came to Gainesville to play at UF Wing.
I came to Gainesville. I was choosing between schools, and again, I was very, very blessed. God blessed me, and I had offers from all over the country, pretty much every school. And I chose University of Florida for some unique reasons, I think. And the main reason I chose them is because they had not won. My favorite school was University of Alabama. At that time, they had won everything and had the legendary coach, Paul Bear Bryant. And so, but when it came time to choose, they had done everything, and I didn't think there was anything I could offer them that they hadn't done already. So, one of the hardest days of my life as a kid was when I had to pick up their phone and make the call to Paul Bear Bryant to let him know that I'm not coming. And but he was gracious and told me if there's anything he could do for me in the future, to let him know. And so I chose University of Florida, and one of the reasons was because of lack of success. And I thought that I could maybe help turn that around. And fortunately, while I was here, we won the first SEC championship that had been won by the University of Florida. So that came true.
That's awesome. And then that led to a career in the NFL.
Exactly.
A first round draft pick, what, number 27?
I think that's right. But that was a big day. You know, I'll never forget it, because it's most kids' dream. You know, if you want to play professional sport, and then there are only a few people that are drafted in the first round. Right. And I remember, I was at my house, and the only person I would align in the room with me was my nephew. He was probably 1 at the time, and he was in the room. And now it's weird to think he's, I think, 35, and he's a partner in a law firm in Orlando.
Yeah.
So that's been a long time ago. But he was in there, and I got the call from the legendary Mike Ditka. And you hear that voice, on the other end of the phone, and want to know, how would you like to be a Chicago Bear? And I told him I can't wait to get there. So that was a big day for me.
I can't help but wonder if that's a better answer than, my first choice is actually this team over here. So, good call, man. And then had a fantastic career.
Yeah, I was able to make 4 Pro Bowls.
Amazing, man.
I think led the team in rushing 7 of the 8 years, and played with some great characters. The refrigerator, William Perry, Walter Payton, Jim McMahon, and Hall of Famers like Richard Dent, Dan Hampton. So I got a chance to experience some pretty good stuff, and we had a lot of success while I was there.
Yes. And so I have to ask the question, when you play for a team that long, is that your favorite team forever?
I think so.
Chicago Bears fan.
Yeah, with free agency now, people, they don't last that long with one team, but to play my entire career with that one team, that was pretty special.
Yeah. The Chicago Bears just got Trey Burton.
Yeah,
Trey Burton's a Gator. Just won Super Bowl with the Philadelphia Eagles. He bought his scooter from us, so we had built that relationship. So we have the whole team is a Trey Burton fan. And just bless you, my man.
And I'm a Raiders fan, so we've got Johnny Townsend and Eddie Pinero. So.
Yeah, Eddie bought his scooter from here too, man. I love all these Gators who have epic careers, and then they go into the NFL, and it's fun to follow them and put them on your fantasy teams. So, that's excellent. Well, Ty,
So
can I ask one quick question?
Go for it.
How did this relationship?
Yeah, that's what I was just about to get into.
I don't even know. Because again, just so all of our listeners know, we pieced these groups together, and so Ty knew Neal and invited Neal in, and then we reached out to Nate and got him in here. I knew that he went to the same school as my son, which is really, really cool. And Amber, his mom, knows my wife Shannon, right? So, man, I just love Gainesville's network and how everybody's just connected. So how do you guys know each other?
Yeah, so Neal and I have known each other for a while. Probably when I was in high school, I would say, is when I first met Neal. At Gainesville Country Club playing golf, I was, getting recruited and, one of the top players in the country coming out. And I used to see Neal out there bringing his daughters, in particular his son, TC, who plays soccer now at Florida Gulf Coast. So I remember when TC's smaller than this table, and now he's 6'3", 6'4". It's crazy. But, I'm probably 13, 14 years old. I'm working hard out on the range or whatever, and Neal's always out there either playing tennis or playing golf, working unbelievably hard as well while running businesses and doing all sorts of other stuff. And I'm just a kid, and he's a Hall of Famer and Gator legend. No need to come interact with me or whatever. And if I'm out there, he'll come over and big smile, infectious, just very forthcoming with positivity and direction. And we would ask each other different things. He's always wondering what I'm working on. I'm asking him what he's working on. And I'm not the only one with that story with Neal. If anyone is ever with him, and I'd imagine any part of his life, there's a super connection. And we connected back then, and it's kept up even when I was at Florida. And I moved to Vegas. He was one of the first people I saw when I came back, and we've kind of reconnected since I've been back, and I've been teaching him a little bit of golf now. So it's fun just to kind of see the stories grow and the kind of everything come full circle. But
Hey, you know what I'm really good at when it comes to golf?
Nothing.
Yeah, that's right. I'm good at one thing, which is driving the golf cart.
That's an important part.
Hey, well, that story sounded good, and that Tyler had the nice things to say, but it was a method to my madness. I wanted some of that golf ability to rub off on me, because he had it as a kid, and sometimes you can see kids that have something special athletically, and he was one of them.
Yeah, Nate, do you play golf?
I used to play golf, but no. I played golf.
We're working on it.
I played golf for about like half a year, but I just kind of got old.
Yeah, I hear that you play Fortnite really well though.
Oh, cut out the last part. I just play Fortnite. I'm really bad at it.
People are probably listening. They're like, "What's Fortnite? Do you play any
Oh, you
video
didn't know
games?"
what you're
I've got
missing.
students that play Fortnite, but I've not taken the dive.
Neal, do you play Fortnite?
I've tried it a couple of times. I'm not very good at it.
Really?
Yeah, I just
I
kind
haven't
of.
even-
Don't want
There's
neither am
certain
I.
things you're supposed to do, but I just kind of hide out, and stay
That's what I do.
For everybody who's listening has no idea what we're talking about, Fortnite is a video game that came out last year, I think. 2000,
No, about I don't really know. I think
20-something.
about 2 years ago, but the really success was mid at the beginning of last year. Its real success was actually the beginning of this. No,
That's how I feel every single day. I'm like,
I'm thinking of seasons in Fortnite because I know when it really got popular in the seasons in Fortnite, but in the years, I think it was about halfway through last year and towards the end of last year, it really became popular.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I agree
Yeah.
with that. I even see a lot of the UF football players play, showing snaps and showing Instagram stories of them playing it.
Yeah.
That's great. So, I want you to, I'm going to get a little bit more into you as a leader. And I don't know if you even look at yourself as a leader, but you're like this 10-year-old star to so many. And I know, and it's it has a lot to do with what Neal is talking about in terms of the positivity. Can we get back into that a little bit? What do you have kids that are come up to you, and what do you tell them? What's your message to kids that might have a disease, or if you just see somebody who's down and just needs to be lifted up?
So most kids come up to me and say, I've gotten used to it over the years. What's that thing on your face? I've gotten used to that. I just tell them, it's something that helps me breathe because I have a disease. But things most kids don't know that everybody thinks it's so hard having a disease. It's really not. The thing is, I'm actually very blessed to have this disease because if I didn't have this disease, most people won't know me as they know me because if I didn't have this disease, I wouldn't have met Jimmy Kimmel, J-Lo, Jack Black, all of them. I wouldn't have met them if I didn't have this disease. So it's just such a blessing to have this disease.
So what's that like? What's it like meeting Jimmy Kimmel? I know before we started recording here, you're starting to get in. I'm like, no, wait, save the stories for the podcast. so tell us a little bit about that. I want to hear the story with Jimmy Kimmel, how you got to meet him and some of these other individuals.
So when I met Jimmy Kimmel, it was so long ago, I don't remember why I met him, but I remember I came in after his show. I was too young to actually watch his show, so I think I watched his show in the green room, the recording room. So I watched his show there, and then when he was done, I actually went to his office and talked to him a little bit, and actually I gave him 3 ideas for to do his show. And back then, Face Swap was really popular, so I asked him that every time on a show, he had to do a face swap with one of his the people that are on the show, and then if you guys remember on Jimmy Kimmel's thing, there's the lie detector of when they tell a lie, then it'll like buzz them to say they're telling a lie. I kind of took that and made it into a love detector, and it would be say like, do you love your mom? I'm just pulling that nowhere, but do you love your mom? And if they said yes, then it will show them if they're lying or not. So I gave him another idea, but I can't remember it. But before I started telling him them, he got up and went to go get a notepad to write all of these things down.
That's awesome. Who else?
Do you have any ideas for us, Nate? We need some new ideas here.
No.
Well, at least he's honest. No lie detector.
He'll have some for
buzz
us
there.
afterwards, I'm sure.
Yeah, he'll come up with something.
Absolutely.
Who else have you met?
There's a lot. There's actually the latest celebrity that I met was Lindsey Sterling.
Okay, so you play. So I heard this, right? You play violin.
I play violin, yes.
And
He's very good.
You got to play with Lindsey Sterling.
With.
For the people who don't know who Lindsey Sterling is, she's a
She's a very famous
violinist.
player.
Yes. And so where was this at? You had to play
It was actually in Orlando at the at Disney.
at Disney.
Yeah, it was at the Coronado Springs at Disney.
Was this like on stage? Was this
Yes.
like it was?
It was on stage for Children's Hospital Week.
And so you like jump up there and you do a little duet with her?
Kind of, but what happened? I was playing a song. I had no idea this was gonna happen, so I was playing a song, and then she just came out. She just came out from the back and just started playing with me. So
Were you like surprised?
yes, I was very surprised because when I didn't know if she was gonna come out. So while I was playing, I heard somebody playing behind me, but she was like a couple seconds off because my mic went out. So I thought it was just the speakers doing a second behind me. And then I kind of looked around a little bit, and I saw these like messy buns, and I thought, those look familiar. Oh my gosh, it's Lindsey Sterling.
I would have dropped my violin and ran over and hugged her. Were you able to keep your cool and keep playing?
Yeah, I did. Well, actually, during the song, you actually said, "Oh my gosh," but then kept playing.
So do you get nervous when you get like you're on stage performing, or when you're speaking at like Dance Marathon or doing any other great thing? You don't get nervous?
No.
How do you get over that fear of like speaking and being in front of big crowds?
I've done it so many times. I'm just kind of used to it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
That's what
impressive.
it takes, yeah.
That's simple and sweet, right? Ty.
So Nate, I've got a couple questions for you.
Okay.
So when you're in your personal life, when you're kind of not in front of everybody, what other things interest you, or what do you like kind of doing maybe in Gainesville when you're here, when you're not traveling, when you're home? Places you like to go, or maybe particular things you like to attend. What does Gainesville look like for you when you're here?
Things as you said earlier about meeting Neal, Gainesville, it's a small town with a lot to do. So like Gainesville, it's so small that everybody knows each other. You know Neal, and then I know Schaefer is it's his son, and then my mom knows his wife. So it's such a small town here, so everybody knows each other. And then it's such a small town, but I like small towns. I don't think small town, it really brings out the feel of it, because like it's small and it's like so pretty there. Like if you guys went to Depot Park, that's one of the they put that in like about a year ago, and it's such a good park there. That's one of my favorite places to go.
Me too.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Have you been out there yet?
I got to check it out. I can take my kids out there.
Yeah, definitely. You can do a lot out there. They've got some, food. You can run around the lake. It's a good spot. Yeah.
Do you go to any Gator football games?
Actually, I once when I was about 6, I actually directed the Gator band.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
That's pretty awesome. Howard, one of our team members, was the drum major
Oh.
at UF for a year or two. So
That's cool.
You might have directed him.
Actually, I think I might have.
tell me what's the greatest piece of advice you've ever received?
I actually don't really know.
You don't know?
No.
How about you?
Well, if I were him, I would think the greatest advice he's received, knowingly or not, is just be yourself. Because
Yeah.
he just comes in and he's himself, and that's good enough. And I mean, my greatest advice, my mom used to always, my mom and dad, I was fortunate both parents were with me all my childhood and, until they later passed away. But, they would always, if you can believe it, you can achieve it. So they instilled that confidence in me, which I think I already had enough, but just in case if I didn't, that was the kind of things that I was told all my childhood. So, they never at any point, tried to hold me back as far as, you gotta stay in this little box. And those are the things you can do and the rest you can't. It was whatever you want to do, you can do it. And so that was the biggest advice I think that I ever received.
Yeah, and I think both of you guys have used your platforms to connect on a monumental level, which is really impressive when people get the opportunity to maybe do something special and they use it for good. And I'm sure Collin is too. We're both very impressed with kind of what you've been able to do with what was given to you. And that was one of the things I wanted to ask you, Neal, was about one when you're at Florida, but one when you're in Chicago. Now in the NFL, NBA, PGA Tour, all these guys, it's so highly sponsored. They give stock answers or they're on Twitter doing crazy stuff. So it's
Right.
like two sides of the coin, really. When you were at the Bears, what did that look like on the business side? Were you learning things that later on in life would help you kind of, get to the next level and be successful after? What kind of support were you getting in the organization, and what did that look like then?
Well, as far as afterlife, after the NFL, when I was there, it wasn't a lot of information. You were a football player. I was blessed, I think, coming into the NFL. My first press conference I did the day after I was drafted. I went to Chicago, and all the media's there. And I told them that I'm playing 8 years and I'm done. So they laughed because usually, if you can play longer, you're going to play longer. And most people don't make it 8 years. The average is 3.5 years.
Yep.
And I was fortunate. I made it to 8 years, cleaned out my locker, and kind of faded into the sunset. One of the few players I was at a pretty decent level, and did no press conference, because I told them in the very beginning.
Yeah.
So I played my 8 years and walked away from the game, and I think I was able to maybe do a little better than some guys coming out financially, because I saw the end from the very beginning. I knew this is the amount of years I'm gonna play, and then that's it. And God blessed me tremendously to stay healthy for that length of time in that league at a running back position is very unusual. So I was able to do that, and then walked away and never really looked back, and went to the next part of my life.
And you came back here to
Came back
Gainesville.
here.
So why? You could have
Well,
gone anywhere.
Could have gone anywhere, and I love Chicago. To me, it's one of the greatest cities,
I
if
love
not the
Chicago,
greatest
too.
in the world. I love that city. But when my wife and I got married, and we knew we wanted to have kids right away, I didn't think, raising them in Chicago maybe was the best place, especially after growing up in Florida, in T-shirts and shorts all year round.
Yeah.
And then realizing not only was it really cold, but it was cold for such a long period of time. And I wanted my kids to, kind of grow up like I grew up, just going outside, playing, all the time in the warm weather. So we decided, my wife's from Fort Lauderdale, we met here at the University of Florida.
Okay.
And and we kind of 4 hours from each of our homes, so close enough that they can come visit, but not every day.
Yeah.
So we decided, and I had a lot of friends, and my attorney who, Steve Rackmanaker, he was my agent throughout my sports career. He lived here, he and his wife, and then I had a big connection with the University of Florida Athletic Department. I endowed a scholarship for the women's tennis team when I was in Chicago, pretty much as soon as I got there. And so we could come back and, be in a familiar area. And so that was what brought on the decision to come back to Gainesville, and it's been a great decision.
Very cool.
That's something that I don't think gets discussed enough about Gainesville, is how centralized it is. And you say you can go 4 hours to your family or 4 hours to your wife's family. I mean, I hear people say, yeah, but I miss the big city life. I'm like, man, we got like an hour and a half to like Jacksonville, 2 hours to Tampa, 2 hours to Orlando. Pick one and go for the weekend,
Yeah,
so it is so centralized, and it's definitely one of the things that I absolutely just adore about this place.
Yeah, me too.
I have a question that I want to ask you, Neal. This is
Okay.
a super important question. I need to know, like, your favorite football game that you ever played, like out of all of them. Like, what's the one that just like stands out? You're like, oh my gosh, that's the one.
I don't know. That's a tough question, but I do have one that I usually pick when asked a similar question.
You've been asked this before? I can't believe it.
Similar question.
Dang it.
When I was playing with the Bears, and I don't remember the year, but we were playing the Green Bay Packers, which the Bears and the Packers are, big rivalries.
Yeah.
Close to each other in the same division, and we played them twice a year. They hated us. We hated them. I give you a little bit of background on it. We get to the hotel once in Green Bay, and we staying at their hotel, and Jim McMahon, our quarterback at the time, goes into the hotel room, and something just smells weird. He's trying to figure it out, and he pulls back the cover, and there's like dog poop all over. And
No.
but that type stuff was the hatred that the Packers and the Bears had. Coaches didn't like each other, and so we go there and we're playing, and there's a group of fans that's just giving me a hard time, which I love it, So I'm talking to them, and they're yelling out stuff, and and then security comes down because they're starting to throw a few things onto the field or onto the sideline. So the security guy, the police officer, is standing there, and so I do something pretty good. I come back to the sideline later, and I stare them down, and they would yell out a lot of obscenities and just being typical Packer fans. And then, to make a long story short, the game goes on, and toward the end of the game, I break a big run. Game's over. Not on the clock, but that's pretty much it. So I go over and I stand in front of them, and I just stare them down, and I'm ready for whatever they got to say. And all of a sudden, they all just stood up and started clapping. They hated me, they hated the Bears, but they loved that physical, hard-nosed football.
Yeah.
In the cold weather, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't
It's
know.
like the reverse psychology there.
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know if I should cry or what. but I remember that game a lot more than I remember most because of that incident. They had great fans. Again, they hated me like they should, but they respected good football.
And
So-
somebody made sure that you had dog poop to sleep in.
Exactly.
Oh man, Nate, you've never
Yes.
like pulled back your covers and found dog poop on your bed, have you?
No.
That's a good thing.
That's a good thing.
I do have a beagle.
Kimmel could do it to
and
him.
Yes.
What's
I
that?
said Kimmel might do it to you next time if you listen to the podcast.
What's the favorite football game that you've ever watched?
That's even a tougher question, and the reason that is I watch very little football.
Really?
I as a kid, I didn't watch a lot of football. I played it, but didn't really watch it. I didn't, if a sport was on, if it wasn't like really, really dark, I wanted to be outside. I wasn't inside watching much of anything. And, I was one of the kids that I would see a great running back make a run, and, next day kids would be out in the yard thinking I'm whoever the guy was that made that run. And I would be thinking, yeah, but I would have done this. I always had a way to make that run better.
Yeah.
So I never watched a lot, and even now, I still don't get a chance to watch a lot of football. My kids all play sports. I have 2 daughters, Camille and Brianna, and they're volleyball players, and a son, TC, he's down at Florida Gulf Coast playing soccer. So I'm usually either coaching or watching them. So I don't remember the last football game that I've actually been there in person. I've been to one NFL game since I retired.
Wow.
I did a halftime interview with Madden. We became pretty good friends while I was playing, and there's the only actual the only game that I've been to.
So you're coaching your daughter's volleyball team currently, and you've coached multiple sports as they've all grown up.
Right.
What from being a player and then going on to the coaching side, and I've done the same thing in golf and coached basketball and played in different ways. What's similar to how do you coach them how you like to be coached, or what's your strategy? What's Neal Anderson, the coach, look like?
Well, that's the hard part, I think, is I coach him the way I like to be coached.
Yeah.
I didn't want the coaches telling me how good I was and you did a great job. I don't think I was cocky, but I knew I was good. I wanted you to tell me, how can I get better? What do I need to do? Well, with kids now, it's a little different. They want you to tell them, you're doing good, and you got to pat them on the back a little more than I was used to. And I think all kids are different. I didn't want a lot of that from the coaches. Again, I wanted to know, how can I get better? And the tough part for me is, I think even now, I get a little more motivated, a little more excited than the kids do. It's a different time. I think I grew up, and I would go in the summer and stuff. I would have to go, and then have to, but I did it. I would pick peas, beans, load watermelons, tomatoes, bale hay, and then you go out to the sports field. It might be hot on the baseball field, but it was just pure heaven. And now I see the kids, they come into the gym, and it's like, you look at them, and it's like they're going to a job, like a real 9 to 5, because their alternative, with my alternative, either playing sports, doing some kind of work or something, their alternative, they'd be at home with the iPad or with the PlayStation or the Wii. So it's kind of like work when they're out, sweating in the gym, even though it's climate controlled, so I don't understand that, And so that's the biggest difference. I think it's just a different mentality, the way my kids are, and all kids today. They have a lot more, leisure things that they can do than I did. My leisure was doing some kind of work. So when I got onto the field, the sports field, again, it was just heaven on earth.
When you're coaching, are you intense? Are you I see Ty as the very calm, coach. The golf. Well, I guess in golf you're kind of normally calm anyway, right?
Yeah. Coaching, I'm a little different.
Are you?
I'm very calm, but I like to unlock potential. So I'm always kind of poking and prodding, asking a ton of questions, build them up. Talk a little garbage to some of my guys that, maybe aren't working as hard between lessons or whatever. So I really try to figure out someone's personality, and I coach to that mixed in with how I do it. The same when I used to coach basketball, I'm very patient and very quiet most of the time, but I can rule an arena very easily. And I think that's the thing that Neal's kind of is saying is all the kids are different, the personalities are different, the parents are different. You've got all these. You're not just coaching 11 people or 5 people or one person. You've got families. You're on the road trip. It's 3 days in California. There's a ton of things going on, and you're really coaching everyone together. So there's a happiness, competitiveness, and you're trying to win, but you're trying to build up everyone, individually too. Right. And it's tough. It's like running a business and trying to figure out what you got to do.
Yeah.
I coach my son's soccer team. It's U10 soccer team. He's 8, and I'm intense.
What's their name?
They're the Avengers.
Are they sponsored by New Scooters for Less?
No, they're not. But it's out. I guess they already have sponsors, or I'm sure we'll be a sponsor at some
Maybe
point.
the pod could sponsor
Yeah.
a youth soccer team in the fall.
But dude, I'm telling you, like when we get out there, I'm a different human. Like I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm very motivational and like pumped, but I'm the screamer coach. I'm like, let's go, like just the
You're the Will
like,
Ferrell and kicking and screaming.
Yes, I'm like,
Perfect.
let's go, just like tons and tons of energy, running up and down the sidelines. And but, yeah, I mean, it's,
Just don't run
We
on
need to
the
record
field.
it sometime
Yeah.
because it's crazy.
Cool.
Yeah, it's good for you coaching the kids. I mean, I've done it, and I think I've grown and learned more because I'm usually just strictly about work. I mean, I want to. So how can I get better? What can we do to get better? But coaching the girls, they were 13 last year, and we were the number one team in the country. Won 2 national championships.
Nice,
And
congrats.
they're only 2, and so we double national champions. And over time, from doing it, I've learned you got to have a little fun along the way. Also, everybody doesn't look at it like I look at it. To me, winning and improving is fun. But now we played a big tournament in Long Beach, California, a couple of weeks ago, and we won the championship. And in between the semifinals and the finals, I took out my phone and my speaker, and we played music, and we had line dance songs going on, the cha-cha slide.
Yeah.
So girls lined up, they're dancing, being loose, and that's a little different than I would have done it, but it worked. We won the championship, and you gotta let them have a little fun. So I'll go in and do magic tricks every now and then, and after water break we'll have joke time. You have a joke, you can tell, as long as it's relatively clean. You can
Right,
tell
right.
it, and so I think they learn, and I learn also.
There's sports are just so incredible because there's just so many lessons that can be learned, through athletics. What's the number one lesson that you've learned through playing football that is just applicable to everybody?
Well, I don't know if it just came from football, but
Yeah.
number one lesson I've learned in my life would be from my parents, and it's the simplest thing in the world. And I'll reference it a little bit. I mean, I've talked to people, and some of them are like, man, especially in Chicago, I was, for like 4-year period, I was considered the top running back in the world. And I would meet some people, and it was weird to see that they were amazed that I was being nice to them. And that was the simplest thing in the world. And my parents taught me just treat others as you want to be treated.
Amen.
And and that's what I feel good about. I think more than anything, I've never turned down an autograph, especially for a kid. Even if I was busy, if I'm out or somewhere, I'm going to sign whatever they have. I mean, I might not sign 100 things at one time that they have. A grandmother stopped me once at a mall, and she was so excited. She didn't know anything about football, but she recognized me from a commercial, from a Honda commercial. She said, "You're the guy from Honda." And she was like, "Can I get your autograph, for my kids?" So I was like, "Okay." And I started to sign it. She's like, "No, you got to sign one for each of them." And I was in a really big hurry. I said, "Well, I can sign one to the so-and-so kids." And she snatched the paper, and I don't want it. And it was on a show a couple of days later about what happened. That she was, the lady had called in. I wasn't a nice person.
Oh,
Everybody's not going to be happy.
That's how quick it can happen.
Oh, yeah.
Just
Oh, it
like
does.
that.
But I was cool with it, and the people, in Chicago, the media, they knew, that wasn't me. So they told her, they didn't know what happened, but that couldn't be correct. So I didn't even have to say anything, which meant I had done some things right that I didn't even have to respond to it.
Right.
The media responded to it for me. So that was the biggest thing. Just treat others as you want to be treated. And I would treat kids the way I wanted. If I had kids, which I didn't at the time, but how would I want them to treat my kids?
Yeah.
And no matter what position you are in life, I think that's just very simple.
Nate, has anybody ever come up to you and asked you for your autograph?
I don't think so.
Not yet.
No, I'm not at that level.
Okay, well,
Are you working on your autograph, though? What does it look like? Is it professional yet?
No.
Nate, before you leave, I want to get one.
Yeah,
from
me
you.
too. Because you're gonna like, he's just a rock star. I hear like you were doing things with was it Miss America? Is
Yes.
that right? You were. What'd you do with Miss America? Like on the stage and stuff, or?
Yeah, with Miss America, I think 2016. I was I'm a really good friend with Miss America 2016 Kira Kazantsev. Wait, no, 2015. Yeah, 2015 Kira Kazantsev, and she's Miss America 2015. I've grown really good friends with her, and she's such a nice person.
Yeah.
And thing is, she invited me to the Miss America 2016. So yeah, when I was doing that, I don't remember most of it, but I remember at one point I went to and started doing the Gator jump. Yeah.
You did, huh? Way to
Gators.
represent. I'm proud of you for representing. Were you just were you on stage doing something, or you don't?
Yeah, I think I was talking about something, I think I was telling my story or something like that.
You do so much that it all blurs together at this point, right?
Yeah.
Like it's just this huge blur of everything. Because I mean, how often are you going out and doing a speaking thing or talking about disease and you're talking to other children? I mean,
Quite a lot.
Quite a lot.
Yeah.
Is there one that just really sticks out to you as your favorite?
They're all my favorite. They're all. Because everybody keeps saying that. So when you get a certain age, and you have a disease, you can do a Make-A-Wish. And I'm not gonna do a Make-A-Wish because my life has been a Make-A-Wish.
Wow.
So,
I just want to hug you right now. That's awesome, man. Wow, what great perspective.
Yeah. I just love traveling to do this kind of stuff.
What do you say, because we're gonna, my son's gonna be listening. There's gonna be a lot of kids listening. What do you say to all those kids about following their dreams? Like what or just what advice can you give? Just like Neal said, treat others the way you want to be treated. Like what's one piece of advice you can just offer to everybody out there?
Just follow your dreams and do what you want to do.
Do what you want to do.
Do what you love and love what you do.
Amen. Awesome. Ty, you have any other questions, man? We need to wrap up soon.
I don't. I'm so glad to have met you today, Nate, and thanks for coming on, Neal. I think this was a really powerful connection, and I think I'm hopeful we'll all four maybe be able to do some stuff coming up together and keep making Gainesville great and trying to figure out how we can use our platforms to connect and make things better in this community.
Absolutely. Hey, I have a couple more questions for you, okay?
Yeah.
The first is, when we hang up the phone, okay, do you understand why we use the word hang up?
Yeah.
Why?
Because you're done recording and stuff, so.
It's kind of a trick question. I'm always interested because I read something the other day that was and this question was completely out of the blue. I know, but
I failed it.
I read something, where it's why do we kids are wondering why we say hang up the phone, and it's because old school phones we used to literally had a cord and we would hang it up. So I'm really interested how many kids know that.
My daughter's
now
always
we're
asking me
pressing
about
the button
that.
and then we hang up by pushing a button. Phones used to actually
Yeah, actually hang them up.
I know it's crazy. So I'm just because I'm just fascinated by technology and anything. Do you are you allowed to do any social media stuff at 10 years old? Are you on social media?
Well, I don't have a phone yet, so I do have Instagram, but my mom runs it.
Okay. So mom helps with the Instagram?
Yeah.
Cool. And we can find you on Instagram where? It's just your name, right? Nathan Ferrell.
Yeah, I don't even know my own Instagram account.
Well, I'm sure she's having it prepped and ready for you, so when you are able to keep up, because you're just a huge inspiration. And Neal, is there, for anybody who wants to follow you, are you on social media?
No, unfortunately, I'm really old. No social media. Even most of my texting is done by my kids. I hand them the phone. and they do it because it's a lot faster. They
You know
don't
what?
make as many mistakes.
Like, I respect that, man. The people who can just be like, like, cut off. Like, I don't need it. Like, I respect that. So good for you guys. Well, again, thank you guys so much for being here. It was a pleasure meeting both of you for the very first time. I'm excited that you guys are here. Thanks for being a very special part of what makes Gainesville so awesome. Do I have one more? I was going to say, like, could you, Nate, just tell us what's the best way if somebody wanted to, help with the Children's Miracle Network or connect with the Children's Miracle Network? What's the best way that they could do that?
Just, I think the Children's Miracle Network has a website. They'll just go to that website and since school has just ended, it's kind of slowed down, but just wait till school starts back up again and everything starts happening again. Like, that's when you can start donating money to help kids in the hospital. And so, yeah.
There's always so much action when school is going on,
Yeah,
right?
there is.
It's like the hustle comes back, everybody's moving around. So very good. Well, we'll find out the right links and we'll make sure that they are linked inside the comments. But definitely support programs like Children's Miracle Network, programs like Dance Marathon. Congrats to Dance Marathon for just absolutely crushing it this past season, hitting $3 million. It's impressive, and we're grateful for everything that college students do to make that a success. And again, just thank you guys for being such an inspiration to so many, for everything that you do for Gainesville. Like, it's just been awesome. So thank you very much. You have any last things?
I don't. We'll see you again next week.
Awesome. Everybody say bye. 1, 2, 3. Bye.